Thank you very much. Our next speaker probably needs no introduction in Malaysia. He's the 2013 Malaysia Barista Champion, and he's also now the head barista at the Red Beanbag Cafe. Please give a big round of applause for Jason Liu.
Um, First of all, very thank you for attending this very first cafe coffee Asia Coffee Symposium. We're glad that you guys are able to come here and witness us speaking about ourselves or sharing something about the industry and everything else. So today I'm here, want to share a little bit about my experience, how I manage, and how I actually gone through these 2 years. So um, previously, let me talk a little bit about myself. Previously, I'm very much into pastry. My base was as a baker or pastry chef, and that's when I first started 2 years back. I ventured into coffee because, just like everyone else, just wanting to know a little bit more about coffee, want to understand and how things is growing. So 2012 was when I first joined Red Bean Bag. The cafe is just right above outside Publica. So that was when I first joined without any experience, without any understanding about coffee, zero knowledge, just want to know about coffee like anyone else in the industry as well. So then after a few months, about 7 or 8 months, I joined and felt like there's a gap that between me understanding about coffee, knowing a lot more, like I need to explore, need to know, wanting to know like what things is happening out there because I'm so much into the bar but not exploring enough. So that is when, sorry, that is when I wanted to join, initiate myself and join to the very first. That was the fourth actually Malaysian Barista Championship, which would be last year, because previously I wasn't into coffee, so I didn't know about the competition, anything about it. But as after that, I realized there was this competition, so I took participate and managed to shortlist as the participant for the Malaysian Barista Championship that time. I mean, I don't have experience at that moment, and I'm a bit clueless, but so I just wanted to like really venture and know more. So the preparation for the competition at the time was quite tedious because a bit lost, but study a lot through the internet because there's a lot of information out there. It's just that we need to explore a little bit more. So this competition actually pushed me a lot more forward to learn and also to explore through the internet and talking to people and wanting to know more about it. So this this ground, exactly where you guys are sitting, and here is where I presented my competition last year. So yeah, it was the 25th of March 2013 last year. So very lucky of me being able to be crowned as the grand champion. And from that day onwards, it was a very life-changing experience for me. So because I get to meet so many more people in the industry, get to meet them, talk to them, and they're really coffee people. One thing I find about them is that they are very willing to share and talk anything about coffee. They are so passionate. They have nothing to hide. They just want to talk and share and wanting to let you know everything about it. So from there onwards, so I got the grand champion. If you see the down there, I get a trip one to Melbourne. So that trip was a really good trip. So it was the WBC of in that they held it in Australia in MICE, which is Melbourne International Expo. So it was the same as the WBC that I managed to witness and see how the competitor in the world stage, how are they presenting, and it was an eye opener for me because I realized that it's so much different. We are growing so fast here, but outside there is even much more further than what we are thinking in Malaysia itself. So seeing them presenting with all sorts of different coffee, getting different sources of coffee, it opens my mind and it's like I really need to explore more and share about to consumers as well. Because I think as a barista itself, we really there's a gap between us and with the consumers because we are the last person to present the coffee to them. So we really need to know our product well. How is it doing? How is the processes from seed to cup? So when we are given the opportunity to explore overseas, so we get a much more clearer picture of what is happening, what are we doing, and we can really talk to the customer so that they have a much clearer picture of what we are doing as well, which is the specialty coffee. So um, so I get to learn the coffee culture in the other countries. In the cafe in Australia, Melbourne, probably some of you guys have already managed to visit there. It's crazy. It's like everywhere, next few shops, there's a cafe selling good coffee. All of them is very competitive, serving fantastic coffee out there. So I see it's like Malaysia is picking up. 2 years back, we are not that fast, but within these 2 years of growth as a barista, I see that there's so much growth, a very huge jump from 2 years and now. So it's growing very, very, very quickly. And yeah, I'm very happy that I was able to witness the things that's happening there and then try to bring back and share to friends as well. So I get to meet in the exhibition, all right, I get to meet a lot of new friends, the elite from the industry as well, from all over the world. So you have the first one on the top left of your side is Joe Shu. He's from Aussie Coffee. He's from Taiwan, also a roaster, and also a judge for some of the competition as well. And we have Craig Simon, the second right on the top. It's from Ting Tang Coffee. He's this year's 2014 Australian Barista Champion. And he was also the third place in WBC. So I'm very grateful to be able to meet them, like even before they were crowned to champion or anything, because they're so good people sharing about coffee. And there's Raul Rodas, 2012 WBC champion from Guatemala. Michael Phillips from Handsome Coffee Roaster, also a champion, past champion. And we have Joseph Broski. He's from 90 Plus. 90 Plus is a processing coffee where they are really emphasizing on quality, special processes, and taking care a lot on the pick of the cherry to the harvest, and then also processing it to the best quality possible. So I was able to talk to him and cup some coffee, which I find very interesting. They're really wanting to bring back to share with friends as well. And Pete Licata, I met him. He was last year's WBC champion. And so after that trip, I was also I was able to actually visit a coffee farm as well, which would be in Indonesia. So it opens my mind even more because as a barista, we are the last person in the chain. So to go back to the farm is not given opportunity for everyone else because most times all these countries like third world country, for example, like Africa, Ethiopia, or maybe Guatemala, Central America. So all these places is much more very slow country where we are not able to just visit them anytime you want to. So I was given the opportunity to visit Gayo Highland in Indonesia to witness how they actually process the coffee and experience about cherry picking. So it gave me a much clearer picture that I can tell to my consumers, tell to everyone else that how things is happening along the journey from seed to the cup. So consumers get more interested to know because they really want to know like the story between from the seed, how the coffee is being processed, how it's being picked, and everything else. So I managed to meet a few farmers over there and learn about their culture. So the farmers, they're having a very hard life over there. But one thing is that most of them, they really enjoy doing what they are doing, which is to pick the cherry and everything else. So I see the passion in them. I see what they are doing, really emphasizing on quality as well, that we can try to bring it to the consumers. Because farmers, they actually don't really get the opportunity to drink their own coffee because they sell the best quality, the highest grade to the people, to the exporter. But for themselves, they are taking a very low grade because they are very poor. So what we can do as barista is really try to present it to people, talk to them what we have done, what the farmers have done, to really let them appreciate the work that they have done into it. So if you see this is a very traditional way where we actually cook through the fire. I was doing with them together. It's a very long and tedious process, very hot, but that's how they do it over there. A very traditional, like our coffee oil where we used to drink, but they are using their own beans, even lower grade than it. So I see that I really felt like I need, I have the need to share and talk to people about the coffee itself. So was very fortunate enough to also visit another coffee farm, and I is a very great opportunity because this has the develop the they are doing a lot more on experimenting different processing, understanding about coffee, experiment. so that to create a better quality and more interesting coffee for the consumers. And it was great to have a few companies around, which is also the elite in the coffee industry from Singapore and Hong Kong, which one of them is here as well. And we try to learn the different methods of coffee cherry picking, the processing. So if you see, there's very two different colors as well. They're yellow and red cherry. So it's not all is on the same where we thought is the similar coffee. So it's very different when it comes to varietal, different type, different country, different region. So it produces a very different flavor profile when we extract it through the machine or extract it through filter coffee. So as us barista, is always the last person we try and we struggle to present it to the consumers, let them understand about what is it happening from the beans to the cup. So by visiting farm, we get to know a much clearer picture of the things, the cherry, the process, the effort of all these people have put into, and we try to present and talk to consumers. Oftentimes, I find it barista has a very difficult time to talk to customer because they don't really know what is happening from the seed to cup. But the barista himself, they also don't really get enough of exposure to see every progress between the hands of a farmer all the way to us. So it's a very great opportunity because I get to see them, get to see the processes, and then I try to also share to everyone else so that they get to know and understand it much clearer picture. So because we get to see in videos and pictures, but we don't get to experience. But the experience is the best part of it to talk to consumer because we really know how it's happening and everything is growing over there. So the coffee condition, growth of condition of coffee tree in different climate. So different country has got different climate, microclimate, different temperature. So it affects the growth of the coffee and processing. If you see, there's like a raised bed. They actually dry the coffee and raise bed to get a better quality and a cleaner cup, which is why we are very emphasizing on also picking of quality ripe cherry and also quality of the processing. So the next thing I get to do was to visit my roaster in Perth. So he's our main roaster for now in the cafe. So working very closely with the roaster, making blends, getting in single origin, the latest harvest to present to our consumers as well. So it gives me a very good, clearer picture on how I could roast the coffee as well. Talking to my roaster, because not sometimes barista they only get to get import coffee without knowing their roaster, without understanding more about their coffee. So for me, I think it's very important for us to know every single process from the roasting as well, because we can talk to consumers that what we are presenting is important from the roast itself, from the beans itself, and for us, how we want to do it to them. So I get to talk to my roaster, tell them like how the industry is growing over here, and also try to bring in a little bit of the culture from Australia as well, how they do their roasting, so to expose our consumer to different coffee, different type of roasting as well. Because every roaster has got a very different, how to say, has their own the way of presenting their coffee, roasting their coffee to their liking. So for us, we have to work closely with them so that we can present well enough their coffee and talk to our consumers. Because oftentimes, roaster is the one that puts in the most effort because they roast and they cup, they taste the coffee, and they make sure everything is perfect before giving us to barista. So for us, is to understand what they have done. For us, is to understand what they have done to really bring it out for them, for the consumers. So better understanding between roaster, barista requirements, which is what I mentioned. So what we want to present and what they want to present is different. So we try to collaborate very closely and see how it works and try to bring it to the Malaysian industry as well. So next thing we're gonna do is where we cup our coffee from the roaster. So tasting coffee is a very important part as specialty coffee. There's so much flavors in coffee that we want to bring out for the customers as well. But because Malaysia, we have got our very traditional coffee, where most time they don't understand about flavors about coffee. Why is it tasting sour? And that's a struggle for us barista. So we do a lot of coffee tasting, coffee cupping. We try to make more of open sharing for consumers because oftentimes coffee industry, we ourselves get to do that, but customers don't get to do that. So they lack the understanding of the flavor profile, the things we are talking about to them. So for us, we do this is to quality control. But what we need to do is also to bring this out to consumers that so that they are more exposed to what we are doing and understand as well. So cupping coffee is to check on the also the coffee quality because for our coffee we are importing our coffee from Australia, so the flight, everything, the logistic, shipment, so it does changes the coffee quality, the flavors itself, and everything. So that's why we have to also make sure the quality is there, tip-top condition before giving to our consumers. So cupping roasted coffee, if you see at the bottom, no, the top left side, you see there's a lighter coffee all the way to the dark one. We do a lot of research as well. So that is a very good experience for me, I would say. Tasting coffee from unroasted beans, almost like greens, all the way to the roasted beans. So it gives me a much more clearer picture of the roast development, how it's happening, the flavor changes, and so I could really bring it to the consumers as well. And to share and taste coffee for better understanding of each flavor profile, as in like with different roaster, they have different roast profile. We taste, we talk about it, we share with the roaster, and then also we share to consumers as well. Because all over the world, there's so many good roasters out there that is trying to share about their coffee, but Malaysia, it's in the stage of growing as well. So we try to bring in more coffee and share to consumers to taste. And sorry. So I was able to go for two competitions over in the international level, and this was a very good experience that I brought back, and that's when I brought it back and shared to the very new barista in the industry from Malaysia. So to bring out more quality barista, and this is the recent one, BOBC, where we are able to mentor, and they were one of the top 5 in the competition. So my vision is to really do more on open public cupping and more interaction with consumers because I really want to share and talk about coffee to them. Because we are the last person to present, so we have to bridge the talk from seat to cup. I have the opportunity to see everything. So I'm trying to really hard to share and talk to consumers what we are doing, what we are presenting to them. So like this one is Pete Licata. He was able to drop by Red Bean Bag, and I would like to be one like him to travel around the world and take part in sharing coffee sessions with other baristas as well. So I hope I could really also continue research and learn all the way. Every day is a new coffee day for me, right? So thank you. I hope I can really share my experience to you. And yeah, thank you.
Once again, big round of applause for Jason, sharing your experiences on the front line of the coffee industry.
I love coffee, I love tea, I love the jabber jabbing, it loves